Good evening. How's it going? All right, so I have got another jar that we're going to be doing tonight. This is number 2 in the series of 3. And I don't know if I had actually talked about it when I streamed. Was it yesterday? Jeez, already yesterday. Okay, I don't know if I had actually talked about that, but I'm going to be doing another set. Now, I'll show you what we did yesterday if you missed it. Okay, the only thing that I had done extra is going to be adding the top dots here in the beige along this part of the flower. Everything else I had finished on camera, and we're going to be doing the same pattern here on this one, except I've got some new colors. Well, they're not new, but they're different. What I'm going to be using tonight is this Cherry Merlot. I've got the Cinder Rose, the same Hauser medium green, which I decided was going to be the one thing that kind of tied the three together, and then a Buttermilk. I did use a warm buff last night, which was a little bit darker, but I like this one in combination with the two kind of rose colors. So, all right. Okay. We're going to get started with a little bit of glass medium and paint. Okay, I'm going to get that all shook up. Let's get the Cherry Merlot in first. Sorry, get that. I feel like I'm shaking everybody and everything when I do that. Okay. I usually don't use folk art, but this color like screamed to me. I had to have this color. So it is what it is. It is a little thicker than the decor, not by much, but it is noticeable. Okay, got my colors in. I'm going to be using the Liquitex glass medium. You know, you really don't need a lot of this. As I'm looking at the bottle right here, so this is how much I have left, right? So it's basically half a bottle. I have had the same bottle for 2 years, something like that. Maybe even a little bit longer than 2 years, I would guess. So if anybody was asking about that, the reason I mention it too is because it's not cheap. I mean, I don't remember exactly how much the bottle was, but I do remember thinking at the time, like, God, do I really need that? Like, is it really necessary? And it was one of those things that, you know, I really hesitated with for a while because I had already done some glass and I had just oven cured it and it seemed just fine. At the time, I really didn't see a need for it. And then I seen somebody else happen to mention it and give a little bit more description on it. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to swallow it. I'm going to buy it. And I paint glass all the time. I actually just recently did some galvanized steel, some tags, some bookmarks, stuff like that. And it works fantastic on that. It works beautifully on acrylic. So it's absolutely not just for glass. So if you're on the fence with buying it just because of the cost, I tell you it's justified. It'll last you and you will love it. It makes things so much better. Okay. Almost done. I think. I was like, do I have a little dog hair in here? Do I have a little piece of fur? Yeah, okay. I have the fluffiest white dog. And yeah, summertime, I get sprinkles and everything. I get little doggy sprinkles and all of my paint all over me, so it's not unusual. Find a few pet sprinkles in there. Okay. Did pretty good with the bubbles. One thing I like about deco art too, and I know it's cliche, right? Because everybody uses deco art. But the other thing that I like about it is the fact that it really doesn't, like when I add the mediums in, it really doesn't cause a lot of bubbles. The folk art isn't too bad. As you could see in this one, there were a couple more bubbles than anything else. But like the apple barrel, oh Lord. That's a nightmare sometimes. Okay. But anyways, let's move on. I am going to start. I'm jumping into a 9. We're going to go dark. Okay. Just get a good heavy center. One thing that you will see is I do have the guide paper back here. Realistically, it's not really for anything except to find the middle. You're gonna see here too that it's not really helpful for this particular pattern. It functions to get my center, and it does function for a background because while streaming and recording, doing anything with clear glass is kind of wonky. It doesn't show up very well. So if you have a background, it's better. And even better having this paper inside than just this pink towel. And yes, I'm sorry, the bright pink towel. I normally wouldn't use that, but this god-awful pink towel is something that someone had given us, I think, at some point for something, and we never used it. I shouldn't say god-awful, it's not that bad, but it's just, it doesn't go with anything. My bathroom is not bright pink. Okay, so I've got 9 here. This is a very, very good pattern if you want to start doing something without a grid, if you want to go freehand. I gotta get a drink of coffee. All right. Let's go down. Do I want to go down to... Can't remember what I did yesterday, matter of fact, but I think I'm gonna go down 8.5. Turn that just a little. I'm going to slow down. The folk art is a different consistency. And as you can see, it's almost stringy. I don't like that, but I don't want to combine 2 mediums. Normally, if I see that, I would go ahead and add in a different medium. I would thin that a little bit, make sure that there's no strings, but I don't want to be mixing 2 two different mediums. So just to make sure that there's no issue, that I don't get some weird string hanging off of the dot, I'm gonna move a little slower and let's make sure this sits underneath this towel. I have a little bag of beans, a bag of old pinto beans that I rest my glass on. And I normally have it situated so that it's in an incline where the mouth of the bottle is slightly lifted. But since the paint consistency is a little different and it looks a little heavier on the edges of the dots, I'm just going to flatten it a bit. Okay. Let's make sure that doesn't run. And then I think I'm gonna go with 3. As you can see already, the grid lines underneath are not being followed really. Just working purely, oh, what happened there? Yep. Ran. Okay, we'll fix that. I think I can find a Q-tip. Back where you came from. There. Okay. Might touch that up just a smidge more. I don't know how visible that actually is on camera, but there's like a little point here. There. All right, all right. Let's try that again. Okay, 2.5. Behave. Sorry if I'm in the way here. Just a moment. Ooh. Might redo that here. Wipe my tool off. I feel especially awkward with this tonight. Okay. Wait a second on that one. Okay, now we're gonna go into the green, and I think we were at a 3. And we're gonna be doing some swooshes. So got my trusty little 0.5 here. Make sure it's actually clean. Okay, the dot is going to be placed right between the first and the second. Because I use a flat-headed tool, I'm using 2 tools. Otherwise, you could just use 1. That one bled too, darn it. Okay, I'm gonna have to redo that one. It's that Cinder Rose color. It's just... I cannot get close to it. It's like... Okay. Ooh, and it continues to move. I'll make it work. When you really want something, you find a way, right? I'm gonna do the rest of these and then I'm gonna go back to that one. Okay. And again, this is just a 3 that I'm pulling here. If you are working with round tools, so round-headed tools instead of the flat, keep in mind the sizes that I use may not match exactly with the round-headed tools, so you may need to adjust. And in which case you would actually adjust up. You would use a larger size to compensate for the difference. Set this down. Hey, yeah. Well, awesome. Yeah, let me tell you. Glass is so fun to paint on, especially when you're a little newer, because it's such a cool medium to work with. It's super easy. Everything kind of just flows. It's how I taught myself how to do swooshes, actually, is on glass. And yeah. I'm gonna have to show you guys another trick. I don't know if I did yesterday or not, about the lids for these. Because if you like reusing stuff, or you like the idea of it anyways, I found something else, so. I keep putting my Q-tips down. I should know better by now. I'm gonna have to remove a lot of this. Not happy about it, but it's just what it is. Okay. Gonna move that off. Okay. All right. All right, so there's that. And this too created kind of a teardrop, and that's not what I wanted. Let's see. Let's go right there. I'm going to take that chunk off. There. Don't be stingy ever with Q-tips doing this stuff. You will really regret it. There are some projects that just whiz by and I never have to use one. And then there are days I'm like, oh my God, I need another 12. So Okay. All right, there. All right, let's see if I can fix that one. So that's an 8.5. Okay. I'm gonna let that sit for just a sec. Wipe my tool off. While I do that, I'm going to show you. So the brand of jar that I fell in love with, these ones, they're nice and tall and thin. They're a little bit different than like the kind of fatter squat jars. And it's this brand, Mandala. They usually have like, I don't know, banana peppers and jalapenos and sun-dried tomatoes, things like that. And the cool thing about these, they're really, really easy to paint. This can be painted over really nicely with a glass medium. But on the inside, they actually had this print, right? They had something like make recipes, make memories or something. Their little logo, and then they're stamped like the Facebook logo, etc. They have that actually here stamped. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I would love to get that off there. And acetone. So just a little bit of nail polish remover, rub that off. And then of course give everything a really good wash. Okay. Okay. Wipe off my 3. A 2.5. Let's see what the best angle is here. That is not it. Here we go. Ta-da! Like it never happened. Let's go back to a 3. I was asking myself the other day, when I started out, I used to get really frustrated because you didn't see a whole lot of people making mistakes. You know, you didn't get to see people goofing up. You know, it was a lot of professionals. That always kind of annoyed me, and that was one of the reasons that I think I started the channel to start with. It's because I sort of just wanted to be real, you know? If I screwed something up, I didn't really care if somebody could see that I screwed that up, right? One of the first videos that I did, I was obviously a bit nervous. Didn't really have everything that I needed to prepped. I had these little fairy jars, and I reached over, God, what was I doing? And I reached over, I think, to grab a tool or paint or turn the music up or something, I don't know. And the glass fairy jar, just literally, I had just finished painting it just like I did just now, put my tool down, and the whole thing just rolled off the desk. Oh my God. Panic. Panic, panic, panic. It was hilarious after the fact. But I left it in. I left it in the video, you know. But then I'm not too far into this, I guess. And I was thinking the other day, like, well, now I know why. It's not so much necessarily that the people that are doing these videos are really, really just that good. You know, that they're just such professionals that they don't make mistakes. But the really cool thing is that dot art has such a really gentle learning curve. Really, really does. I mean, once you get the hang of kind of the basics, it goes really fast. So don't think that everyone's trying to hide it from you necessarily. There's some people I'm sure that do. But now I know better. Not everybody's just hiding mistakes. Okay. And I'm just walking all of these down with the 1.5. Okay, that part's done. Let's see what I used. All right, let's get another swoosh in here. I'm gonna tilt it on this side and start over here because that dot's still a little bit wet. This is gonna be a 6. We're gonna go back into that Cinder Rose. So let's see how this plays out. Oh, it's driving me crazy. Oh, okay. Yeah, some paints are definitely a little more temperamental with the weather. All right, again, I'm going to slow down a second. Let some of that dry, because again here on some of these, you can really see the heavy bottom. On this one especially, it just really sinks. It's not thin enough that it's actually running over the edge, but I am getting kind of a heavy bottom on it, so. It's kind of too bad. I love this color. I didn't find anything at the store in DecoArt that was as close to the Cinder Rose. Otherwise I would have gotten it. I'm sure on their website I could probably find something. But I was in the store looking for something else. I was looking for a color for a commission and just happened to see it, so definitely wasn't something that I went there to get. It's one of those impulse things. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to make a whole bunch. Have to do some color combining, a little bit of messing around. Make some. Okay. All right, clean off the tools here. Okay, get my 6 put away. And I think 5.5 maybe. Yeah, at this point, 5.5. Yeah, 5.5 looks right. Okay, so I'm gonna get a couple of dots laid out here. These are gonna be the Merlot. Okay. I'm gonna start with one. Instead of stopping the whole project and waiting for things to dry, I'm just trying to maneuver around it a little. We're going to do a few more walks. Let's go back into this Buttercup over here. Okay. And if you haven't noticed, the pattern isn't completely straight up and down. Like this one curves just a little bit. They curl a little bit, just a smidge. And I like that. The blue one too. It's kind of inherent of the pattern, of the design. It's not something that just went wonky. Okay. That's a 2. I'm gonna go down to a 1. Oops. Get the right side of the tool, huh? All right, I'm gonna hold this up. Makes it so much easier. If it weren't for the camera, I would probably hold this 90% of the time. Oops. All right. Oh, upside down. Up, down. All right, let's get some green in here. There's not a whole lot of green in the thing anyways. Gonna go up a size. Be taking that paper out here pretty quick too. That's behind this. I don't know if it's really distracting to anybody other than me, but just in case. the Lazy Susan doesn't help a lot, does it? And some of these really doesn't feel like it. Sometimes though, man, I don't know what I did before I had it. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna do some swooshes the old-fashioned way. Right after I get coffee. Ugh, okay. All right. I'm gonna start here. Let's see, let's make sure that I did that on the other one. I started at the second gap, okay. Now this is just the 1.5 end of the nail art tool, by the way. We're going to stay with the same 1.5 and I'm going to do another set in the dark. Okay. See if I can do it this way. I'm going to drop down a notch here. That one decided it wanted to be a little funny. Last two? Yeah, last two. Alright, now I think I gotta check yesterday's work because I didn't write down my sizes, but I think it's a 3. Yeah, it's a 3. So I'm gonna take a 3 and we're gonna get some dots in on top of these swooshes, and then we're gonna start getting some top dots in. Little crown. I want to make sure that I'm not rolling the jar far enough to where I actually touch the towel and mess something up on the other side. Just kind of hold it up. Nice. Okay, let's get some top dots in. I'm going to go down to a 5. And I'm going to put these right at the bottom. This dot. Dang it. That was bound to happen at some point. Moving just a little too quickly with that paint. Since it's a little stringy, I gotta slow down. Okay. I'm gonna put another set of dots just like I did on the other one on the inside, but I do need to wait for that to dry, so I'll leave that for a little while later. Let's get the rest of this done and then I should be able to come back and do that. Since it's still so warm, paint dries pretty quick. I have paint on my finger. Where'd it come from? So there's that. Now I want to do smaller one out on the edges. These will all get a double top dot as soon as it's dry enough to, anyways. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, let's get that out of there. Okay. Okay. Should be able to see just fine still. I think we've got enough design on the outside now. Being able to see the pattern clearly shouldn't be an issue. Okay. What about a 1.5 probably? Yeah, okay, 1.5. And then let's touch on these here. And with everything, I'm keeping the top dot right towards the center. So these ones all go to the middle, these ones all go to the middle. I often think about that like peacock wings or peacock feathers. All right. Like I said, I need to do this other set of top dots. Paint is not quite dry enough for that, but basically I'm going to be putting a light pink here on these ones, and then a beige here. The other thing that I've been thinking about is, while this dries, so I have this bit of a gap here on either side of that large swoosh. And I have been debating on whether or not maybe to add another small swoosh, just like maybe like these here along the side or not. I'd have to go back in and do that at a later point, but if anybody thinks that's a good idea, let me know, because I got stuck thinking about it too much. Let me blow an F. Go faster. Okay. Dry faster. Just got to be careful. These ones are small enough that they dried fast enough that I can get the second layer on and you're not seeing any problems. But these ones in the center look so wet still. So I'm not going to push my luck. Same as I did yesterday. I think I'm going to have to do those ones very last and just do them off camera because they're going to need a lot longer to dry. Last thing you want to do is get this far in a project and then screw it up. with something stupid. Okay. There's that. Now these ones here, on the second row, they will not have another top dot though. I'll give it another minute and see how it's drying, see how it's looking. It's very, very shiny from this way, but we are almost done. The other thing that I normally might do at this stage, I'm not today because I just don't have enough paint. Okay, so, but I have my lids. What I'm going to do with the lids, I'm going to put a miniature of the pattern on the lid. So I'm going to take just this section without these tops here. Well, maybe with this, we'll see what room we have, but at least just this section, and I'm going to put it on the top. Now, I'm just going to take just a regular paintbrush using, and normally I use just the leftover paint that I have in my palette, and brush over it. And again, this has the glass medium on it, so you don't actually need to do any special prep to the lid itself. It's not going to glide off when it has the medium. So I'll go ahead and take a paintbrush with the extra and paint that over. The only problem is right now is I haven't decided what colors I'm going to use for the base. And because I have 3 different ones, what I've done in the past is use one primary color. Like for example, the darkest color, and in this case, this would be the Cherry Merlot. And I would paint the lid the Cherry Merlot, and then use the 3 remaining colors to replicate this. But I don't really like that idea very much with this one because I don't think that this particular flower has enough on its own with just 3 colors, especially without the dark, to pull it off. So I've been considering maybe making all of the tops the same color, either in white or in black. So I don't know, either white or black tops. Let me know what you think, because again, I just don't think that there's going to be enough to stand on its own. I hope that makes sense. I hope you know what in the world I'm talking about. I'm not just being confusing, because essentially if I painted the lids the dark Cherry Merlot, I would only have the light pink, the green, and the buttermilk to actually make the flower with, and no, I just don't see that looking great. So white or black. All right, hold your breath. Let's see. So far, you know, I'm pushing it pretty well. There. Okay. All right. All done. Okay, so I have one more to go. Obviously not going to be doing that one tonight. I need to let this dry. But hey, opinions, right? So let's see. Oh my gosh, Steve. Yes, you know what? I know, it's horrible. I was explaining in the first part of the video, the pink towel is just like a rag that we had around the house. And that's usually what I use because it's a rag to hold everything up. The pink towel actually has in it my little beans that I use to hold everything in place. Otherwise this could shift. There. Maybe that looks better. Now that everything is done, I'm okay with leaving that like that. Okay, so like I said, if you guys want to help me with the decision, drop me a comment. However, right here on all three of them, do we want to make one additional small swoosh? What do you think? Do you think that I need that? And then the other thing is white or black for the lid to make a copy of the pattern on for the top. Okay. Hey, anything is welcome, questions or comments. Otherwise, this is pretty well done. The last one that I'm going to be doing, so I've got now the blue. This one's completely dry. This one was done yesterday. So now I've got the blue and the Merlot. And I've got to do a third one, and that's, I'm either thinking I have purple or coral colors. I have like these coral. I don't think I like that because it's too close to this one. I kind of want something on the other end of the spectrum. I was gonna go teal, but again, that's kind of a little close. So I think I'll probably do purple. I have some pretty purples to work with, kind of also in this sort of dusty shades. So I think that'll work. And I'll probably do that in the next, I don't know. I've got a busy week coming up. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I've got stuff going on. So it's probably going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is my guess. I'm going to move this one out of the way. This one needs to dry. Last but not least, just in case anyone is interested and doesn't catch these often from me, or if you're just dropping in for the first time, let's see. Greens. You know what? Green could be interesting. My only hesitation is that my idea was to keep the greens, the Hauser green that I'm using here, as kind of the one color that brings them all together. The one color that's consistent between the three. So I don't know if I continue to use that medium Hauser green and then I incorporate other greens in it, that it's not gonna look kind of funky. Good idea. I'll have to look, I'll have to pull out my greens and play around with that. What I'm going to do after this though, with the medium, we're going to drop this into the oven. Back up. It does need to sit for at least 24 hours. What I will probably do is do all three of the jars. After all three of them are completed, I usually leave them for at least 48 hours, if not 72, although that's not required. I just like to be 100% sure. And then I'm going to drop these in the oven, 300 degrees for 30 minutes. You do not put them in a warm oven. They need to go in ice cold. They need to come out ice cold. And then that way they will be completely, well, I don't want to say sealed. That's essentially sealing them. You could wash them. You could hand wash them. You can throw them in the dishwasher if you choose to. I don't recommend it regardless, but you know, you never know what people are going to use these for. This set I'm probably not going to keep. I have one other set. That I did a long time ago. With the lids. Same jars, just different. Little bit of a different approach. But you never know what people are going to put in them. If you decide to put something edible in them, I want to make sure that people can wash them. But okay. For the rest, I think that's all I've got for now. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Really do. I have, like I said, I have a ton of other stuff on the channel. If you have any questions, if you're a little bit curious about any of the techniques or patterns that I've used, just give me a shout. I have all of this stuff that I make. I put up on Coffee. Coffee There's a link down below for that. And hopefully I will see you guys around next time. Like I said, that probably won't be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I've got a lot of stuff going on around home for those 3 days, but I'll probably be back this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometime. So, all right. I certainly appreciate you stopping by. Have a fantastic evening. I am so glad you liked it. Hopefully I'll... All right. Take care, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great one. Bye-bye.